Kamaru Usman went from being 1 minute shy of tying Anderson Silva's record for longest winning streak in UFC history back in August against Leon Edwards to now being on back-to-back defeats against Edwards coming out of their Trilogy bout at UFC 286. Usman loses a majority decision in a very highly competitive fight. He had his moments most certainly in there, but he was not able to really get over the hump and put Edwards away at any point, and he left it in the hands of the judges, and they did not see him as the winner in this fight. And now Usman in a bit of a curious position. He said afterwards that he is not done. He wants to keep pushing forward. He's going to rebuild himself. All the very graceful and positive things you would want to hear out of someone in his position coming off a loss like this, but definitely some questions to be asked. He is definitely one of the very, very best in this division. That goes without saying, obviously, but he's already beaten a lot of the top guys out there, and with 2 losses to Edwards, who seemingly has a number of potential big fights in his own right lined up, it's going to be a tricky rebuild for Usman at this point if he wants this title back. If you look around at who even a potential logical fight for him who's not booked or not on a different trajectory right now, I think the only one in the top 10 that really stands out to me is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And I know that may not be the most appealing fight in the world to a lot of people, but given the style matchup and the name, I think that's one of your Usman you should be chasing as hard as you can, because I think that's friendly to his style. It allows him to right the ship and just put his name back in the contenders column. And I think if you're Stephen Thompson, who has talked a lot about wanting to get a title shot again at the late stage of his career, you have to give a hard look at that fight. I know he's also said he's not super keen to be fighting wrestlers at this point, but if you look at the stakes of what it would mean for him to beat Usman, a guy who he was wanting to fight for years when he was champion, that seems like the right move for him. You roll the dice, and if you win, it completely changes everything for you, and if you lose, well, I think quite frankly a lot of people would think going in that he's going to lose that fight. So it seems like a bit of a win-win in my mind for Stephen Thompson. I think that's the fight he should target, the fight that Usman should target, and the one that makes sense for me. An easy fight night main event or a high-ranking main card fight on a pay-per-view. Make it happen. I think it's the one. Huge clash in styles there, and I'd love to see who emerges on top with a win.